Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a new video for you guys. This is going to be my night out makeup routine. This is what I've been doing ever since I got the Tarte roasted palette, and I've been back at school. It's been my go-to every time I've gone out. I love it. I love the way it looks on camera and that it's sort of natural but also shimmery and fun. So I've never done one of these before. I am not a makeup guru at all, but I've had some comments and questions about what I do and how I do my face makeup when I go out. So I'm going to show you guys that now. I already washed my face, so just to get extra stuff off, I'm just taking a face wipe and just making sure everything is off my face and on my neck. And yeah, it is that time of the month, so luckily my skin is freshly broken out for you guys, so don't mind that, but that's typical for me. So I'm going to show you also how I cover that up. But now that I'm all fresh and clean, I always make sure my hair is tied up, and I recently started like putting my hair like wrapping around my head or ponytail. So cute. And yes, I still have my fake arm tat on from Halloween, don't mind that. But let's get into the video. Okay, so first I'm going to prime my face. I'm going to take the Arbonne primer, just one pump of that, and I'm going to put it in my T-zone here and on my cheeks and chin. This stuff is so amazing, felty and smooth, and I really think it makes a huge difference on my skin. And I only put it on my cheeks, forehead, and chin because next I'm going to use the Pore Professional from Benefit and put that on my nose and under eye. I have bigger pores on my nose, so I like to use this just because I find that it really completely blurs everything out. So I'm just going to put that all over my nose and in the corners, I guess. And then the last little bit I'm just going to take under my under eye and bring down. Now that my face is all primed, I'm next going to take the Arbonne eye primer and prime my eyes, or eyelids. And I'm just going to use my finger and just blend that all over the lid. I honestly forgot that I had this product for the longest time, and then I found it and I love it. Now, I always start off with my eyes first just because I find, especially with this palette, I have a lot of runoff that goes onto my under eye. So instead of like recovering it up, I just have my primed face and then I'll cover it up when I'm done my eyes. Here is the Tarte Roasted Palette. I talked about it in my last video, my October favorites video. I'm obsessed with it, and I'm going to use this one today to do my going out look. So, like I said, I'm going to be starting with the, oh, you can see my little setup. I'm going to be starting with the Roasted palette. Now because I've already primed my eyes, I'm just going to take a brush and this shade called S'more up here, and I'm just going to dust that all over my eye to blend out any creases and just to give myself a little matte start. Because I find sometimes with that Arbonne primer it works really well to keep your eyeshadow on, but in your crease sometimes I notice that it gives a little bit of a line. So now we're going to start off with this shade here called Cashmere. I'm just going to get that on the end of my little, using the Kit brush, and I'm just going to blend that into my outer corner crease into the middle. This is just going to give us a little base in the crease here, give us a little bit of depth. And I love this color because it's a nice brown. I'm going to grab a little bit more, but it also has those orangey pigments that I'm going to pull out later on. And just from the outer corner, almost all the way to the inner corner, but not really. And we're just going to do the same to the other side. just like that. So as you can see, that just gives a little bit of depth but not overly too much color. And now I'm going to use this same kit brush. I'm pretty sure I have like, yeah, crease blender. I've used this one for so long that you can barely see the numbers or anything on it. And I'm next going to go into this shade called Warmth here. This is the really orangey matte pigment that we're really gonna pull out in that outer crease. So I'm gonna take that just on the end of the brush there, just scrape it off, and go in again to that crease just to darken it out a little bit and yet brighten up with those orange pigments. And we're also going to bring that in and make a little bit of a V here. And do the same to that other side. Just like that. And now as you can see, I got a little bit more orange in there. It is kind of messy, but don't worry, I'll clean that up a bit more. Next, we are going to take this Arbonne brush. This is my shading brush, and we're going to go into this shade called Latte. And we are just gonna put that on the outer lash line, just in here. Just on the outer side. Now, I'm not a big fan of eyeliner, never have, most likely never will. And so I don't know, I'm not really a big fan of having dark just because I find that like my lid is very, very, very small. So when I have darkness on there, it just kind of makes it look like I have a black eye. So I try to lighten it up in my inner corner and not use eyeliner, and I find that that definitely opens up my eyes and makes me look a lot more like bright and happy, per se. Now we are going to go in with this shade called Sunrise here on that same brush, the Arbonne shading brush. And I'm just going to take that along my inner corner just to kind of brighten it up from any of the orange that was taken in too far here, just like that. Just like that. Now it's time for my favorite part, shimmer. So next we're going to take a concealer brush. I'm going to just get like and I'm going to take my concealer, Arbonne concealer in the shade Fair, and I'm just going to put a little tiny bit on my hand here. And I'm going to use the concealer brush and just push that into my inner crease here, so that when I put that shimmer on, it will really, really, really stand out. It doesn't totally have to be blended in because you're gonna blend in this shimmer shade with another kind of in the middle of your eyelid, just to really blend it out, give you lots of shimmer and it not be like super, super bright. So the first shade that I'm going to go in with is Sunset here. I'm going to take the same Arbonne shading brush and I'm going to put that on like this little area here and just kind of go all the way up to the crease and all the way back down to the lash line. And we're going to do that to the same side. This is kind of blending out those orangey pigments with a nice little gold shimmer, so that when we put on my favorite color ever, which is Candle here, you kind of have like that transition shade. I would call it a transition shade. So I find that when I have use a brush, like typically I would use this shadow brush here, but I find that I have too much like fall off, and it works a heck of a lot better when I just use my finger and kind of press it into my eyelid. So I'm going to take my ring finger and use this shade Camel. I can't read. No English. Candle. This is my favorite one. And we're just going to push it into the inner corner. This one is so very pigmented, and I find that it just goes on so silky smooth when you use your finger. And you just want to be very careful that you don't go outside of your lash line or crease. See, I don't know makeup. I don't know makeup. I don't know your eyeballs or eyelids or English. And we're just gonna do that to the other side as well. Now that we have that shimmer done, we are going to go in with, I believe it's called Simmer. We're going to take again our Arbonne shading brush, put that on, and this one is going to go along your bottom lash line and then just gently bring it up, just like that. And the same to the other side. And that is typically what I do for the top of my lid. I might actually just take my Kit brush here and take this shade Latte here and bring it in the corner of just a tiny bit more, just to give that outer edge a little bit more depth. Beautiful! Now next up we are going to fill in the eyebrows. So this here is the Shape It Up Arbonne brow pencil in the shade, I believe this is medium. Yes, medium. So on one side you've got the spoolie and on the other side you've got the twist out, if you can see that, twist out pencil. It works so amazing. I love this. The shade's perfect for me, especially because my roots are a little tiny bit darker. And I'm just gonna go in and fill them in. I am no brow expert, let me tell you, but I think this does a very good job. So I always do a lower line and an upper line. Wow, this is curved. There we go. And then I start filling in from the inner corner. Just like that. I always typically leave like this inner arch, I don't know what you call it, a little bit more plain, because later on when I'm done on my powder and stuff, I will take my, what's it called? Let me grab it. I can't remember what it's called. Oh yes, I'll take my Arbonne Tinted Brow Cream and fill them in and make them a little bit more stiff. And this one is pigmented, so I find that sometimes if I fill that in too much, it looks like my eyebrows look way too dark and unnatural. So I always leave this inner bit a little bit more natural and empty and fill this in more. So I'm gonna do the same to the other side, but they never look the same. There, and brows are done. Obviously they never look even, and this inner corner I think has a little bit too much. Good enough. So now we are going to move on to foundation, and obviously the only foundation I use is Arbonne. So here I'm going to take this shade is in Alabaster. Right now it's a little bit too light for me, so I'll just do a little bit of bronzer or a little bit more contour into it. My secret little tip, I got this as a free gift at Sephora one time. This is the Cover FX Radiance Drops. They're in this little thing here. They're almost done. I love them. I love them so much. I only use them when I'm going out just because it really makes your foundation look bumpin'. And I'll put 2 drops on my hand here and then just mix it into my foundation. And then I just kind of put it all over my face here like this. And then whatever's left, I'll just take it off and start sponging it. I use the, I cannot remember what these sponges are called. They're not beauty blenders, I know that. Love beauty blenders, but when you're a broke college student, you go for the drugstore sponges, let me tell you. I love this one because, sorry, my sponge is really dirty, but it has like a flat edge at the top, but it's not like, I don't know, it kind of comes to a point there, and it's great for getting in at your under eye and creating that line from your shadow. So yeah, I'm gonna blend all of this out here. The areas of spots and acne I'm gonna cover up with concealer, so I don't really get too anxious about those when I'm just putting on my base layer of foundation, because my concealer will cover it up. I always make sure I blend it all the way into my ears. Not normally do I go up with my hair up, but typically I'll do like a half up, half down, so I like to make sure that it's completely blended in. And there you have it. I find that this foundation is perfect, especially for my skin, because my skin is like kind of oily. This mats it down, but it also doesn't make you feel like super dry. I think it has a nice finish. I wouldn't say it is full coverage, but it definitely is medium to full coverage. I find that if I just put concealer on over top, you're good to go. And next I'm going to do concealer. So again, I'm going to take my Arbonne concealer in Fair. I'm going to put this in my under eye here. I absolutely love this applicator. It is like a flat felt tip here, so you hold so much product on it, and it's so smooth, silky smooth going on your face. Put it a little V up here, a little V down here, cover up my acne. Wow, my lights keep flickering. And recently I saw a YouTuber put it in here, so try it out. I'm going to keep that out because after I do this, I'm going to do my eyebrows. So I'm going to take the pointy end of my sponge and start just blending this fully out, all the way from my under eye down into my nose. And as you can see, you kind of clean that up a little bit, create that nice little line there. Sometimes it doesn't always work, but that is a-okay. Some people say that this concealer, wow, that really reminded me. I look like a ghost. Some people say this concealer is a little bit like sticky or yeah, sticky. I would kind of agree it is, but for me, I absolutely love it. I never get creases. The only time I get creases is sometimes under my eye, but it blends out so easily. And it is such good coverage. I love it. Plus the applicator is my favorite thing in the world. So next we're going to take, again, the concealer. I'm just going to put a little blob of it on my hand there. And we're going to take this brush here. I've used this for so long, I don't know where it's from, but we're just going to take that and we're going to cut in for our eyebrows. I'm going to go back in with my concealer brush from Sephora here, and I'm going to blend that out. Next, I'm going to take this mattifying powder from the FC5 Arbonne line, and this has had a lot of love, so I'm going to take a little swipe of that and just pat that onto the parts that I just concealed on my eyelid to set that. The thing I love about this powder is it has absolutely zero pigment to it, so the only thing that it's going to do is either blend the shadows up here in your crease and set the concealer that you just put on. Now I accidentally went a little too much on this eyebrow, so I'm just going to take my spoolie and try to clean it up a bit. Okay, now it is time to set my face. I'm going to take the Setting Pretty Translucent Loose Powder Broad Spectrum SPF 15. So I don't think, this is just like a setting translucent powder. It has a little bit of shimmer, which in the beginning I was just like, no. But I actually really love it. Plus I like how there's like the little spongy, so you just dip your brush in there. Just like that. You get a lot of product, which is also nice. And I'm just gonna set my entire face. forget to always bring it into your ears and your neck because you don't want lines. No. Oh, next is my favorite part. It's going to be bronzing and contour. So next I'm going to go in with my bronzer from Arbonne. When I ordered the first time, there was only one shade. This has lasted me like almost 2 years. I love it. And I'm gonna go in with this stippling brush. Again, I've used it for so long. I don't know where it's from or what it's called. But I swirl a little bit of that on, tap it off. I kind of pinch in here to make it a little bit more narrow, and I just blend it in. For the longest time, I always like started down here, and then I would find that it would look really, really like patchy down here. So I started it up on my hairline, and then I slowly bring it down. And I find that it makes a lot more of a natural looking contour, and you're like, it just looks 10 times better, I think, at least. My face looks hilarious. And then you're going to contour the top of your head. So I start in here, bring it down to my eyebrow like that, and then blend it into that line that I made before. Same thing to the other side. And then I'm going to take the edge of my brush and kind of just dust up at the top to bring that all together. So that is that. Just kidding, I forgot my chin. That is it with that brush. Next, I'm just going to take this angle brush from Sephora. It's for eyeshadow. I love it for my nose contour. So you want the tiniest bit. I always tap off as much as I possibly can. And I just go in on the side of my nose. Just like that. I find that this slims out my face enormously. I only realized this like, I don't know, I'd say a month ago, and I cannot believe the difference in my face in like pictures and stuff when I do this. Like, it's insane. And I'm gonna bring that together at the bottom of your nose just like that. I love contouring. I think it really makes like the final look, other than mascara and lipstick and highlight. I'm obsessed with myself. Now I'm going to take my tinted brow cream, shape it up, and I'm going to set my eyebrows or finish it off with this little thing. Honestly, I do think this shade is a little bit too dark for me, so I think the next time I order, I'm gonna order a lighter shade, or we have a clear one as well. I think I might just do that because I find that it really, really, really darkens down my eyebrows. But I love it. Next, we're going to do mascara. So I have the Arbonne mascara. This is literally the best thing ever. Grows your eyelashes. I put this one on as a first base coat. I put that one on as a first coat so that I have amazing products touching my eyelashes, and first of all helps them grow, and it really, really does coat them. Now this is my guilty pleasure, the Better Than Sex mascara. No matter how much I love Arbonne, this will forever change my eyelashes. So I'm going to start and put on my base with the Arbonne mascara. This stuff honestly is, I cannot stop raving about it. It's just so perfect and amazing. Now the only thing I don't like about it is it's not waterproof, but waterproof properties have ingredients in them that Arbonne does not allow. So I approve of that. So until we come up with this scientific revolution that we will have non-waterproof mascara, Arbonne's waterproof mascara, or mascara, I don't know what I'm saying. I just love this stuff. So that is my first coat there of the Arbonne, I can never remember the name. It's a long story mascara because it literally grows your eyelashes. And And that's not a joke. Shout out to Shay Rowland. When I went there, she was like, your eyelashes are so long, because I went to get eyelash extensions. I was like, are gone. But next I'm going to, what's my problem? Next I'm going to take the Better Than Sex mascara and go over that and just really make them voluminous. Will I ever not get mascara on my eyelid after I've done the shadow? Who knows? Now, as you saw there, I just took a tiny little bit and put it on my lower lashes. I'm not a big fan of like lower lash mascara, but sometimes you want a little spice. Our next step is going to be blush and highlight. So last Christmas, Arbonne came out with this Starlight Glow palette for the holiday line. Unfortunately, they didn't continue with it, which it seriously hurts my heart because it's my favorite thing ever. And every time I talk about it, people are like, oh my god, I want it, I want it. And I'm like, sorry, we don't sell it anymore. So Arbonne, if you're watching this, bring this baby back. So I'm going to take the blush here called Stardust, and I just dab my brush into it. This is the Arbonne cheek brush. I just put a little tiny bit on the end, dab it off. I always smile, put it on my cheekbones and blend it into the bronzer here. Just give you a nice little color. Natural color. I love this one on me. I honestly think it looks so good. So I'm going to take this all over the eye Arbonne brush and put it into this Moonstone, the contour shade in here, which is Moonstone. Go like that. And just on your cheekbone here. Ooh! And I always bring it up into my brow and kind of conjure. Same thing to the other side. Fire. I'm obsessed with this shade. It's beautiful. And I always add way too much highlighter, but I'm over it. And then I'm just going to take a little dot into my inner corner as well. Fire. And the last step is lips. So I'm going to take the Tulip lip liner. This is the only one I own. I'm obsessed with it. I will never not have this lip liner. And I'm one of those girls that like to overline my lips. And then I'm going to take the lipstick here in the shade Willow and put that all over my lip. I typically will just take my finger and try to blend it in a little bit more to that liner, just because the liner is a little bit darker, but it's all gonna even out. When I take this gloss in the shade Anise, and I'm just gonna dot that on my lower lip and just blend it out. This is my fall lip. I'm obsessed with it. I posted it, I think a month ago maybe, on my old Arbonne account, and honestly, it's beautiful. I love the gloss. I love like the brown, and yet it still has a little bit of like reddy undertones. I'm obsessed with it. And last but not least, my favorite step is the Arbonne setting spray. This was also in my favorites. I love this. I will never not love this. It is perfect. And again, I only take about 4 sprays all over my face and fan it out. Just like so. That is the final going out look. I'm one of those people, I don't really like to have like a really dark lid or really like extra. I'm more of like the subtle with those orangey pigments and the shimmer. Obsessed with it. I like to go for accessories in a more like fancy outfit or shoe instead, and more subtle, natural but pretty makeup look. So as you can tell, majority of these products were Arbonne. I will link my website below if you're interested in any of these products or any of the other shades that are available in these products. And I highly recommend this makeup. It is honestly some of the best makeup that I've ever used. And yeah, so this is the look. But yeah, I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.